Family Likeness. Written by Davies. Read by Penelope Rawlins and Vivien Rochester. The moral right of the author has been asserted. Chapter 1. I've never kept a diary before, because it seems to me that the point of a diary is to record intimate things, and I don't find it easy, or necessary most of the time, to go into detail about intimate things. And if you do keep a diary, then there's always the question of who you're keeping it for, as well as the possibility of who might find it, who you secretly hope will find it, and who you most fear will find it. But I've started now. Tomorrow is Mother's Day. The sky is low and heavy like a swollen stomach. Outside my kitchen window, the trees are covered in sticky yellow buds. And I don't know why I'm so surprised by this, when it's inevitable that spring will come and the buds will grow. Nature, I think, becomes more interesting in middle age. There's far more chance that when the sticky buds come next year or the year after, you won't be around to see them. I haven't chosen anything special for my diary, just a simple discounted book from the newsagents, and I've written only one entry so far. And that's because, this morning, I saw him. After months of wondering and weeks of watching and waiting, today is the day we first spoke. I just stopped at the bus shelter to escape the drizzling rain, and I was standing there with a handful of other people on a typically miserable English spring day. The sort of day when everyone appears tired and depressed, when no one looks like they've heard any good news in a very long time. Then a bus pulled up, splattering us all with dirty water. The doors opened, and there he was, Jonas Murray. He stepped out backwards onto the pavement, neatly lifting out a child's buggy, so that all I saw of him at first was the hunch of his wide shoulders and the back of his thick, expensive-looking green jacket. He set the buggy down and fiddled with something. The brake, perhaps. It was a large, new buggy, covered in a plastic rain sheet so thick it was impossible to see who was inside. It could have been a baby. It could have been a child as old as 3. He turned slightly then, and I saw his profile. A strong nose, a clean square jaw, smooth black skin that looked recently shaved and well cared for. His lips were slightly pursed as if in distaste, and there was something about him that suggested he didn't belong here, that he came from somewhere else. Perhaps he didn't often take a bus, but normally drove a fancy car, or sat behind tinted windows while a chauffeur drove him. He waited on the pavement, holding out his hand, and his daughter got off the bus as well. She is 8 or 9, or younger and tall for her age, with a lighter complexion than her father, her plaited hair decorated with brightly coloured clips in the shape of tiny butterflies. She stepped off the bus, dragging a silver scooter and hurling it onto the pavement. She wore a fashionable raincoat and shiny flowered Wellington boots, and she looked like she'd chosen the outfit herself and was pleased with it. Jonas Murray took his daughter by the hand and set off hurriedly across the Holloway Road, ignoring the zebra crossing only a few yards away, and beginning instead to dodge furiously between the lines of waiting traffic. I watched him. This tall, well-built man with his baby buggy and his child and her scooter, and I thought, if their mother could see the way he's hurtling across the road, she wouldn't like it at all. He reached the other side, passing a takeaway chicken shop, its doors and windows covered in grey mesh, as fine as fish scales. I could see where he was heading, to a doctor's surgery up a steep flight of stone steps. He was such a big, strong man.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?